All right, guys. Up. Hold on. All right. Yeah, I guess I didn't have it in full screen, so there we go. We're back, guys. Welcome in, everybody. We are back again. Joker Dad Spotlight, episode 89, with our wonderful guest here, Afro Joe Gaming. I'd like you to introduce yourself a little bit here. Just tell us who you are. Give us a rundown. First off, I'm going to give that round of applause for this man.
Hi. Hello. How's everyone doing? I'm Afro Joe Gaming, or Zeus Artad is my real name. I'm 34 years old. I think I just turned 34, yeah. And I've
Nice.
been a gamer for as long as I can remember. And been streaming now for 3 years, maybe 2.5 years. 3 years, yeah. And I love it. It's a dream come true for me, and I hope to be able to do it forever. Yes.
Awesome. No, that's good. That's a good starting roll of answers. So how you mentioned 3 years you've been streaming?
Yes, since I think 6 months into the pandemic was when I started, or about 8 months into the pandemic when I started streaming. It has been something I've wanted to do for since I was like 18, 17, when I thought about being or trying to stream. It took me quite a while to get even the courage to do it, but here we are.
What were some of the games that you started streaming?
I started with Warzone. That was the first game that was big when I started streaming. I wasn't really gaming up to that point. I had no system. I was just really had a phone and a work laptop. So when I built my system to stream, Warzone was really big at the time, and that was what I started streaming.
Oh, okay. Do you still play Warzone, or what are you streaming at the present time?
Right now, I'm streaming mostly Path of Exile and current shooter Farlight 84, 86. Oh no, I might have said Farlight 84. And I'm really enjoying Farlight with friends. It's pretty similar to Warzone, except it's third person and not first person.
Yeah, I've seen Farlight. That seems like a really good game. Definitely enjoyable to watch, and it seems like everybody who I've watched play it, they're enjoying themselves quite a bit. So
Well, it
where are
gets
you?
the fun part.
Oh yeah, for sure. So where are you from, actually?
I'm from the Philippines. I'm half Filipino, half Arabic. I was born in Saudi Arabia, and when I was 4 years, about 3 or 4 years old, we moved back home to the Philippines. My mom, I moved with my mom and my sister, and we've been here ever since. But my mom's originally from Bacolod City in the Philippines.
Oh, okay. And where is your dad from? You said.
From Jeddah, from Saudi Arabia.
Oh, okay.
That's where I was born
Oh, that's awesome.
quite a while ago. Yeah.
No, that's great. Two different styles of culture came together, and you're here now, and that's awesome. That's great to see. What were some of the games that you started with in your earlier gaming ages?
That's a great question. Oh, I don't know. Do you know Sonic the Hedgehog?
Oh
So
yeah.
the first game I ever played was Sonic the Hedgehog because I saw my mom playing it on the old Sega Genesis, and that was the start, I think. Sonic, I never beat the game. My mom was the only one I saw beat that game.
Nice. Yeah, no, I never beat it either. I looking back at it, I think I got maybe like a lot of levels in, but I was like, man, this is still going. And then I die and start over, and I'm like, that's just a lot.
The old school games are just brutal. They were just no save at all.
And you mentioned earlier, like what equipment and software are you using right now for streaming? Like, do you use
OBS.
OBS? Okay.
Mhm. That's all I really know how to use. I'm not the most tech savvy person. compared to what people can do nowadays. Everyone's like amazing at it. On my stream, not so much. Uh, Mostly people are very positive.
That's good.
I haven't really had too much negativity. I would say the negativity would be more from my personal life, not really believing in what I'm trying to do, but not so much um, the people I've met, if that makes sense, or that have come across my streams.
That's good.
I
No.
think.
Well, that's good, yeah, because it's hit and miss for some. I've had a couple trolls here and there, but I've remained, positive and like kind of went along with it. And
Mhm.
then they sometimes have ended up being viewers in the future, right? They'll stop in again another time or two, but they're more open and less trolly, I guess you would say, because they're just trying to get a rise out of either the chat or the streamer themselves. So you kind of just have to be prepared for those moments when they do occur, and that's why, like when this morning here, this channel's locked, right? In this Discord.
Hello, beautiful.
Oh, thank you for the follow. Hello. But yeah, because we've had people come in during events and giveaways in this community, and they start screaming obscenities, and it's just because
Oh my.
the Discord's open to anybody, right? We have it in our profiles and stuff, so people click it, join the Discord, and then they join the VC, and then they just start trolling the streamer who's streaming at the time. So,
Damn,
yeah,
that's not cool.
yeah, not cool at all. But I mean, we just laughed about it because we had never had it happen to us until that day, and it was like 3 or 4 people came in and did it, and you're like, wow, this is pretty tough. But yeah, do you
I
have
think I'm
any?
more nervous. Oh, sorry.
Oh
Sorry.
no, you're
Continue.
good. No, go ahead. You think you're more
I was
nervous?
saying, I think I'm more nervous of the idea of that happening to me because I would think I wouldn't know what to do and how to manage it. I'd probably look for some help to manage that. But realistically, I wouldn't know how to handle it. It was so negative. It would be pretty hard to focus on enjoying and having a good time as a competitive person if everyone's just negative. I
Exactly.
think that'd be very difficult. Yeah.
But yeah, do you have any preparations of how you get ready for stream, like rituals or routines that you go through before you go live?
Ooh, that's a really good question. Oh man, if I'm being honest, it takes me forever to get ready mentally. I've had days where I'll sit at the stream and everything's set up, but sometimes 2 hours and a half will go by and I'm like right there, just on the start stream button. It's a problem that I've been working with for years, and I think I've been improving at it, but it's difficult for me. Like to answer that, like I find it difficult to start. Breathing, a lot of breathing. I play music. If I'm, into a negative spiral and I feel like I just won't start the stream, I'll just drop my PC and maybe listen to some music. That helps. But it's difficult, yeah.
How do you handle it? Do you try to push through it? Do you take a step back? How do you process that
Mhm.
feeling?
So I've learned to process that differently over the years. I think the goal, the the goal would be to have a day where you can do everything that you want to do and repeat that, right? 6 days a week and not be fatigued. If, but when the way I look at it would be like, if we're getting fatigued, we're doing something wrong. So if we're always trying to improve, then each day we're trying to slowly move towards the goal of being able to manage 6 days a week and not get fatigued, right? To do the same thing 6 days a week, enjoy it, make, get some financial stability with that and not get fully fatigued to the point where one day rest is not enough. I
Yeah.
think that's where I'm kind of shooting towards. I still get crazy fatigued, and that means I think I'm doing certain things wrong, or I'll take a break, and it may hurt the stream, but your goal really is longevity, right?
Yeah, I agree completely. There's times where I think people dread taking a day off or stepping back, from streaming, just due to that, worrisome of, how a community or how people are going to react if they're gone for a certain period. But I know, experiencing it myself, it wasn't that terrible. But some may not feel like they need to take a step back. So I'm glad to see that you process it very similar to how I see some others process it. So that's good.
Ever since I was, I guess, 18, 19, in multiple jobs, why don't I, go back to a regular job? All those types of things tends to come into your head when you've been doing this for, I guess, as long as I have and not seen the results that certain people would consider to be successful, So it's more on trying to ignore those things before I go to stream and making sure that we start on a positive note. Because I don't want to. I've had streams where I feel like I'm sending negative energy more than I am creating a positive environment for people. And that's worse than not streaming, at least. So that it takes me long to get into that state some days.
Oh,
I answered that right.
That's a really good answer. I can feel that personally. I've been in Discord communities that I was removed from, where I invested a lot of time and effort into them, and that's what drove me to the creation of the Discord and the community that I have now. I was all for investing my time into that, and I had streams where I was angry, where I was emotionally crying on stream, and to have to put my community through that was tough because there was a time where people had to decide between this old community and me, right? And the people who chose to defend myself were ridiculed and put through the ringer, and they didn't do anything either. So it was like tough to go process through all that. And that was like my first couple months of streaming,
Wow.
and it was
Sounds
it was a lot. So I understand with the pausing to go live and trying to create a positive environment for everybody because you don't want no negative energy. I don't want to be in a place where the streamer's negative and upset and emotional and it's like it's just not fair for them. But I can relate to what they're going through, right? And that's just that's life, right? It's raw, it's unfiltered, uncensored, it's in the moment. Uh, yeah.
I feel you. I mean, I don't know how you get over that, but that seems like a tough 3 months to start.
Yeah. It was like 3 to 6 months in. I had to start dealing with that stuff, and it was tough because like it's rampant out there. Like Discord has been the big key to my growth, and I've networked with a
Really?
lot of great people. But I've come across a lot of bad people who are taking advantage of their community. They're taking advantage of the people around them, either by misleading them or just purposely pulling the wool over their eyes and pretending to be someone that they're not. And then when that presents itself in some form, it's hard for me to like keep it back, right? Because I see all these people that they're fooling. Uh, and some people have been dealing with that recently. I've had people come to me where they've said, "Oh, this person said this about you," and or done this, and then all of a sudden they have to separate themselves because that person's being rude to them or being negative towards them. So it's just like real life stuff going into the streaming environment and streaming world, right? And it's just
Mhm.
sad to see, how it ends up even making its way into this type of hobby for some or environment, I guess I should say, more than anything.
Well, I mean, that that does suck. Ideally, you would love to not need that, right? And you would just love to do your own thing, but this world's very competitive, so it's very difficult to make.
I
Like,
think
how
that's
do
what it
you?
is. Very competitive. I feel like that's it, right? Is like some people may feel like I'm taking something from them that they want or that they feel goes to them. I don't know. And I'm doing is just trying to stream and have a good time, uh, and inspire. Right? I like that saying: inspire before you expire. So because we're time's limited here, and I want to like leave a positive path towards anybody I come in contact with. I don't want, even in real life, I don't want someone to be like, oh, this guy was an asshole and he ruined my day. I'd be terrible if I'm be a person to ruin someone's day, right? Like,
I mean, that would, yeah, no one wants that. I hope that hasn't happened to me, you know, like I hope I haven't put out that negative energy as well, but
no, I've always enjoyed your streams. You come off very great. You know, when I've watched probably 3 or 4 of your streams now. I think one of them I was lurking, but you know I've caught them, and I like your vibe. I like your energy. You don't seem to be putting off anything that someone wouldn't want to be around, right? Like
I'm
usually
glad.
you feel very welcoming when I come into the stream. The energy seems pretty good, so I have no complaints here. And speaking of streams, you know, has there been a time where you've had like a very memorable stream over the 3 years, like something that really stood out, a stream that you know stood out amongst a lot of the others, like maybe funny or unexpected moments, or
There've been quite a few. Um, I think I was raided once by the developers of Last Epoch, and that was really fun. I was putting in a lot of time of Last Epoch during those months. Kind of like a Diablo style action RPG.
I've seen it. Yeah,
That's still in early access. It's a very good game. Very, very good. And they shot me a raid. That was really memorable for me personally because it felt like, even though generally you assume nobody pays attention to the work that you do, but it showed that certain companies were paying attention when you do shout them out, when you do stream their games consistently. That it's just a memory of mine to remind myself to keep going, you know?
that's huge, man. That is huge because you know, like you said, they were watching you. They did measure your content up and go, okay, this is friendly enough for us to give this raid to this person and then represent. Like you were the face of that game for that moment, right? Like all these people who were there for that game were sent to you, and I've seen that through, like you said, Diablo, where I followed a lot of Diablo streamers who were presented through Blizzard and stuff when like Diablo 2 Resurrected came out, and they had like a showcase of these streamers playing the game. And I followed a lot of those streamers, and now you know some of them streamers are still doing pretty good. Some of them aren't doing so hot themselves because the game's not current anymore, right? And all those viewers have went to the next big game, and it's tough as a streamer. I think that's something that you know we need to all, you know, it's like the elephant in the room, right? Like your discoverability is based upon the game or the content that you're creating, and it kind of does limit us to just that. So me being a Fortnite streamer, when I'm in Fortnite, I'm playing Fortnite. Of course, I'm just limiting myself to Fortnite gamers, right? And there's a ton of them, pages and pages of just streamers streaming Fortnite. So it's tough to get discovered through that. Uh,
I would agree, but on a side note, if they're uh, out of the games that is better to play one game only, Fortnite's one of the good ones because of the fact that there are a lot of people interested in watching it, right?
yeah,
You do have a lot of competition, but out of like the, it's not going to drop overnight, right? Fortnite is not a game that's probably going to disappear tomorrow. It's going to have a lot of viewers for it for a few years.
yeah,
So that is.
longevity.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. But yeah, that last Epoch game though is pretty nice. I liked it. I was watching you play it, and I really enjoy it. I think it's a game that I definitely look into if I was wanting to go that style again. I know a lot of people play Path of Exile. I've seen that game as well. But I like the look of the last Epoch. You know, a little bit better. You know, it had I like that feeling. So it was. I'll have to check it out. I think that's something I might play a lot, even during my off time, whenever that may be. But yeah.
Well, I think you'll enjoy it. Last Epoch's really well done. Very good crafting system, very easy to get into.
Oh yeah, crafting. I always forget about crafting. Crafting's huge though. It plays a big impact in the game. Uh, Even though it's not like a huge crucial component of the game, but it does affect a lot. One question here. Let me see here. Um, oh yeah, technical issues. When you have technical issues during your stream, how do you handle it? And is there anything that, uh, like, that you would give information on something like how to avoid certain technical? Because like I know for me, I may check some stuff prior to stream, but I still have issues.
Okay, to answer that, that's a great question, by the way. But could I propose another question first
Oh
so
yeah,
that I can answer that fairly?
yeah.
Does he technical issues on our end or internet technical issues? Because I think those are two different things. Like I can't control the internet technical issues as
Yeah.
much as I can control technical issues on my
I
end.
mean, how would you
You know?
respond? I mean, you can do it like a
To
two-part
both, I
question.
guess.
Yeah, it's like because well, I
Okay,
mean,
okay. So, um, I make sure everything is streaming smoothly. I can run the game well. I used to spend a lot more time with this since I've been doing this now for 3 years. I can kind of, it doesn't take me as much time. Used to take me about an hour and a half. I would run the game, run a fake stream, make sure that my frames are clean. So that was my first goal. My first goal was to make sure my frames are stable. So I would run fake streams, tweaking specific, bitrate output, uh, the FPS I'm trying to stream at, until I could run a stream for about 2 hours straight off without dropping any frames. This wasn't a real live stream. These were all test streams. And once I could consistently do that, then I know once I could get it running for 5 minutes, I'm ready to stream, right? It would lessen my setup time.
no, that's great
Yeah, I don't
advice.
know if I explained that right.
No, you explained it great. I think that's good information because giving that test stream, like you said, there's times where that would have been very great for me in the past when you go
Mhm.
live and all of a sudden you see you got all these drop frames and everything's kind of everywhere freezing up, especially with certain games. I know certain
Mhm.
games I've had to take motion blur off because it just like something with motion blur caused the processing.
Always turn that off.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
always turn that off.
I do too, and because I noticed it one day where I downloaded and installed a new game and just started streaming it, and it was like